Good Sunday to you. I'm Storm Team 9 Meteorologist Patrick Ellis here with your ENC Weather update for this December the 8th, 2013. A cold, dreary, blustery day across eastern North Carolina. Most areas did make it out of the 40s through much of the afternoon hours. We were expecting temperatures to actually warm up just a touch this afternoon, but most of the high temperatures across the east occurred at midnight last night. We'll talk about that. Look ahead towards tomorrow and some of the different modeling as we are expecting a wide range across eastern North Carolina as far as temperatures are concerned for your Monday as a warm front lifts northward. And then a big cool down once again as we head towards the next couple of days. All that coming up here in the ENC Weather Update video. Here's some of the numbers from earlier on this morning. Most areas were in the 30s already. Roanoke Rapids, Greenville, as well as New Bern, and just kind of looking at the profiles, a lot of areas were kind of around, actually in the 40s. To start off the early morning hours, we continue to fall through the morning time hours across eastern North Carolina, finally kind of wavering around the mid to upper 30s through the overnight, and coastal areas were into the low 40s, mid 40s, upper 40s even, as you head closer to the coastline. Most areas now still hanging in the 40s as well. 44 at New Bern, 42 down at Wilmington. It's 34 back over towards Raleigh-Durham, 29 at Roanoke. Look at the wide scale of things, and still the only left over warm air across the area, across the United States, is still down in Florida, where they're still in the 70s. 5 degrees in Denver, 32. They finally cracked freezing over at in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's been 3 days of freezing rain pretty much for them. Locally, we're 37 in Greenville, 40 at Washington, 45 at Morehead City, and 53 out at Hatteras. Dew point temperatures are mainly into the 30s at this point, but you see just off to the east, along the Inner Banks, the Crystal Coast, and the Outer Banks, we're into the 40s and 50s. In 52, the current dew point out at Hatteras, 47 at Swan Quarter. So you see the moisture's trying to make its way back into the region. Winds are all out of the north for the most part, but they will switch around to the southwest as we head through the overnight hours tonight. I think they go calm and then they switch around to the southwest by tomorrow morning. Here's our second part of the system, already starting to get its act together back off to the west. Showers and even some rumbles of thunder stretching from southeast Louisiana all the way through Alabama, northwest Georgia, and stretching into the western portion of our state, where they're seeing snow and ice. Still having a winter storm warning in effect for the extreme northern portions of the state. Still got a freezing rain advisory back over into the mountains. Kind of wild range of winter weather. That all happened this morning. Still got some ice and stuff over towards the west, but still, for us, it's been just a cold, chilly rain today. Here's a look at the rundown. The warm front lifts northward for Monday. Cold front Tuesday, and then sun and cold by Wednesday. Now, I'll tell you the precision forecast model, a little iffy. It's been running a little warm as far as the temperatures profiles are concerned. We're at 7 o'clock right now. The current temperature 37. The model has us at 43 in Greenville. So the models are running warm and then they're running cold. And I'll show you why they're running cold here in a second. I'll take you through tonight. I think if any showers are going to happen, they'll be to the north and west, towards Rocky Mount, Rich Square, Roanoke Rapids, and Hosky. Temperatures will likely hold in the 40s. I think maybe some of us warm back up to around 40 degrees tonight, especially for inland spots from Goldsboro through Windsor. 50s possibly down towards the south. I think that may be a touch warm, but I think through the afternoon hours and when the warm front starts to lift northward, that's when we start to get the temperatures coming up. See a couple showers here and there. I think the best chance for showers will likely stay to the north and west, from Greenville north and west. Possibly some patchy fog, but you see down to the south some clearing down towards Jacksonville and Morehead City, New Bern. Temperatures rebounding back into the low 60s. Possibly near 70 degrees down that way. And you see Greenville still at in the 50s. I think central areas, it'll be a wide range tomorrow. I'll show you another look at this here in just a second, but back to the north and west in the 40s. And I think that's where we're going to see the best chance for showers. I think most of us stay dry tomorrow through much of the day, but then the showers come back as the frontal boundary approaches us from the west. Now here's a look at the European model. This is valid for 1 p.m. Monday. You see the frontal boundary, the warm front, is now pushed north of Greenville. They got us at 63, Jacksonville 71, as well as New Bern and Havelock. And still 40s up to the north and west, up towards, say, Enfield and Roanoke Rapids. This is coming off the GFS, valid for the same time period, and you see very similar temperature profile. It's a touch cooler right around the central areas, but it's warmer to the north and west. It thinks that the warm front gets further up towards Virginia, and I think the European has a better handle on trying to erode the cold air, but it's so hard when you're trying to erode this cold air wedge, how that happens. It's very hard to predict how far inland that warm front gets, and this is one of the toughest things to do here in eastern North Carolina, is try to figure out where that warm air gets. But you see 62 at Greenville at the same time period, so about the same temperature, but you see Roanoke Rapids in the 50s comparative to the European, where you're still in the 40s, and you still got 70s down to the south. And this is coming off the 4-kilometer NAM, and it's a completely different story. It's got 51 for Greenville. It does not get the cold air out of here, and this may be correct, because just knowing how stubborn this cold air is, especially for the warm for this type of situation, it may stay in the 40s and 50s for areas north and west of Highway 258. So it kind of depends on where you are, and even going into the afternoon hours, it doesn't warm up all that much, maybe 54. But you see Washington at 61, 70 down in New Bern. So I can kind of give you a good idea that south of US 70, that's where we're going to see those temperatures, somewhere around 70 degrees. But north of there, it's kind of a crapshoot trying to figure out how far north that warm front gets. So as far as what we're thinking right now, I think for our northwestern areas, I think upper 40s, low 50s. Cloudy skies with a chance for showers. There will be a chance for showers for Greenville. Central areas, still think upper 50s and low 60s will do it for most of us. But you saw the 4-kilometer NAM. It could still be in the mid-50s late in the day for places like Greenville and Canida. And I think places like Rocky Mount could stay in the mid-50s through the day as well. Jacksonville touching 70, and maybe a shower late, with some sunshine poking through. And Edenton will be in the 50s for most of the day, maybe a couple of 60s getting in there for places like Elizabeth City if the warm front gets that far north. It really will depend tomorrow where you are, how the temperature profiles will play out for you. And once again, the precision forecast model has most of the temperatures warmest south of Highway 264, where we could see those warmer temperatures. The cold front moves in here, and then falling temperatures through your day on Tuesday, and that's as expected. And then looking at the rest of everything, the showers move into the region, and I think we get a good dousing through Tuesday, and then finally we clear out as we head towards Wednesday morning and into Wednesday afternoon as high pressure builds in. So 62, I think, on average tomorrow, and to be honest with you, it's going to be really iffy on where you are, and rain chances may be iffy as well. I think most of the area stays mainly dry tomorrow, but our northwestern areas may stay in the rain all day long with patchy showers. Rain chances likely on Tuesday, falling temperatures through the day, and we only make it to the 40s through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, Saturday and Sunday, that's a different story. Saturday, I think for the most part, Saturday is dry. We make it to 50. Then Sunday comes around, then we got a different issue. Yesterday, the GFS was painting a coastal low, has taken that away for the time being and puts it on Monday, but the European has it coming in on Sunday. That could be a really nasty setup as far as that's concerned. I'll show you that here in just a second. But like I said, the temperature profiles are mainly into the 40s once we get past the secondary frontal boundary. Here's a look at Sunday afternoon, and GFS has this pretty wet. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit of a crapshoot trying to figure out where this low is going to be. But we'll fast forward that. And you see a coastal low kind of developing, you get the wedge effect going on, and at the end of the run, you see that little low pressure system developing offshore. That is Monday afternoon. Now, this is off the 18Z run. The 12Z run has a similar solution. Now, here's a look at the European model, and now it has it offshore. This is Sunday morning, and a deepening low pressure system. Now, yesterday, this model had nothing there. and now is developing a very strong low pressure system right offshore. That would be a pretty nasty coastal low for our coastal areas. Albemarle Sound, Pamlico Sound. Looks like we would have some oceanside overwash likely, and on top of that, soundside flooding on the south side down towards Carteret County and the Core Banks, and lifts out of here by the time we head towards Monday. It's still breezy for coastal areas, but starting to let the pressure gradient go away. So I still think that this could be a very interesting setup late next week. I'm going to hold back on rain chances for the time being, but I do think that there will be something going on late next weekend. That'll do it for me here on the ENC Weather Update. Stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, WNCT.com. Next update here will be by Wednesday afternoon. Chief Meteorologist David Sawyer back in tomorrow evening from 5:30, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock on the CW, 11 o'clock right back on WNCT, and Dante Jones into for Monday morning for Morning Edition 5 to 7, and the noon show at, obviously, noon. Have a great rest of your evening, a great day tomorrow, and a great weather week ahead.